This podcast was brought to you by Uncle Jeep Productions. Hey guys, and welcome everyone to the DRIPMEDIA podcast. I'm your host, Uncle Jeep, and with me is host StreamBeats Gaming. We record this podcast live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You'll listen to this podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, or anywhere you can find a podcast. You can also become a member of this podcast by clicking the join button down below. Drip. It's a Zelda week this week, man. We got some leaks and rumors, but I would more categorize them as rumors.
Facts, right? Complete facts?
No.
Oh.
No. Rumors.
Sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. But it's kind of cool. We'll talk about it's all Zelda related. We'll get to that in just a moment. But first, Drip, I would like to get straight away to our 5-star comment of the week this week. And that comment comes from That One Girl. Thank you, That One Girl, for leaving a 5-star review. Best Nintendo gaming podcast. We love it. Thank you so much, That One Girl. And you are entered into our giveaway for a $50 eShop gift card. If you guys would like to be entered to win a $50 eShop gift card, go to Apple Podcasts, leave us a 5-star review, and write whatever you want. It could be bad. It could be good. It could be mid. It could be whatever you want.
Either way, we're reading it on the air.
So. We're reading it on the air. We'll get to them all. At this point, I might have missed a few. I apologize for that, but we'll get to them on the after show pre-shows. Either way, they'll be read, and people will hear them. And this week's is That One Girl. So thank you, That One Girl, for leaving us a 5-star review. Drip, how are you doing this week? Although I kind of know the answer to it.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm tired, okay? I've been really, really, really busy. I feel like I just keep making all these videos, shooting all these photos. Mm-hmm. It's like 100 things I do, and I'm still like 100 things behind. I don't know what's happening.
I mean, that's a good thing, man. More work
People
is good.
People are mad. They're like, where's my photos? Where's my photos? I'm like, I don't know. I don't have them done. I'm trying. Tomorrow. And it's going to rain tomorrow, and I got stuff I need to do outside. But you know what? I don't care.
You gotta bring
in the rain.
Gotta bring like one of those big beach umbrellas with you, so you can just shoot underneath of that.
I'm just shooting in the rain. I'm just gonna go in between showers and just shoot. It's fine. It's just happening. I can't not. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. How's your week been? Your half of week and your last half of the week before.
That's right. It's been good. I'm getting better. I'm almost there. I'm probably at like 85%. There's still a little cough happening, still some mucus happening. This has been the longest sickness I've ever had. Partially probably due to the fact that I didn't go to the doctor because I kind of can't. I can, but then I don't got insurance. So paying that fee is gonna be crazy because good old America. But I don't think I was ever sick enough that I need to go to the doctor. I just had, Mucinex and everything was doing the job. It's just taking a really long time to get out of my system. And it's driving me insane.
Yeah, it's annoying. It's quite annoying.
I'll be trying to mute those coughs as they happen tonight, guys. But if I miss them, I apologize. Drip. Speaking of things that have been going on for a long time and people missing them and suddenly seeing that they're a problem. Apparently they're a problem. Gary's Mod is a video game, Drip. Have you heard of it?
You know what? You asked me this yesterday and I said no, which was a lie. After you told me what it was, I was like, oh yeah, I've heard people talking about that. But I don't know anything like other than like the basics of what it is. Yeah, I've never been involved with it, done anything with it.
Yeah.
Have you?
I have. I actually, believe this or not, Drip, I've actually been watching Gary's Mod related YouTube content since like I was in high school. I've actually not watched any since, but like in high school, I was watching YouTubers at the time making Gary's Mod, funny gaming videos because some of the game modes are pretty funny. And let me just, if you're not familiar with Gary's Mod, let me fill you in. I know at least one person in this chat knows what I'm talking about with Gary's Mod. If you do know what Gary's Mod is, make sure to type it down below. But Gary's Mod is a video, the way I would describe it, it's a video game that you can make video games with. So it's kind of like a base.
Like Dreams for PlayStation.
I don't know what that is, but I'm sure you're right.
It's a video game that you make video games with.
It's a video game that is like a base game that you can add stuff to it, community driven, to make games within the game. It's kind of a bare bones video game that you can kind of, if you know how to, upload your own, files to it and whatnot, know how to mod stuff, then hence the Gary's Mod. For example.
Who's Gary? Who is this fella?
I think Gary's actually the guy who made this game. I believe
Gary.
so, because he's actually somewhere involved in this saga because he tweeted out like this was a real takedown from Nintendo, which, spoilers, that's what's going on here. But basically, in short, it's not important. It's not crazy important what Gary's Mod is, but what's important is that, again, like I said, you can make games within it, and naturally, people use assets from around the internet that they can get their hands on, or they make their own assets to resemble things. And in this case, it'd be Nintendo. So that's the whole issue here. But Gary's Mod has been around. Like I said, when I was in high school, this is my 11th year high school reunion this year, or not reunion, anniversary. So I've been out of high school for quite a while, friends. This game has been what came out in 2006, okay, and pretty much since day one the game came out, you know that people were making assets, either stealing assets from Nintendo or making their own version of the assets that look like Nintendo characters like Mario, Luigi, Donkey Kong, Zelda, you name it, since 2006. And it's never been a problem. It's a silly little thing. It's just a fun gag of a game, and you can do stuff like that. And Nintendo, just the other day, thank you, Arlo, for bringing this to my attention. Just the other day, Nintendo sent them a notice. Sent Steam, Valve, who has the game on PC, on Steam platforms, and Nintendo told them, you have to take all of the Nintendo asset related stuff down. My phone is blowing.
So wait,
up.
they told Steam that they had to tell the people at Gary's Mod that they had to do that, right? That's how that goes?
Well, yeah, so Steam is hosting the game, right? It's on Steam, right? So when Nintendo, when there's a game on Steam platforms that is infringing Nintendo's copyrights, they don't talk to the developers. They talk to Steam because they're the ones in charge. And then Steam could go, up yourself, Nintendo. They could say that. And then Nintendo would take further action however they need to. But Steam historically plays ball with Nintendo, from what I know. So Steam got the notification from Nintendo, and then Steam pushed that along over to the Gary's Mod team and the developers over there. And I think it's just actually one guy, honestly. It's just Gary himself, I believe. But
so weird that's happening.
So
right
then obviously that gets passed down to the Gary's Mod guy who's okay, and then the Gary's Mod guy let everybody know on Twitter let everybody know on Twitter this is legit, because some people actually are speculating this wasn't even a real takedown. They thought it was a gag or a joke, because this is ridiculous.
It's been so long.
It's ridiculous that this is happening right now.
Well, I don't know. The same exact thing's happening not in gaming but in like movies and TV. There's like 3 or 4 people who are clearly, they know information about some of these new Marvel projects, and they're leaking them, like straight up leaking stuff on Instagram. Yeah. And Marvel is hiring lawyers to tell Instagram, like, you have to disclose who this person is on your platform, because they're in trouble, and we're like, Instagram could say no, or they could take it to court and just say no, we're not going to do it. They're being subpoenaed, I guess. There's different kinds of subpoenas, but this is what's happening there too. So I guess it's basically like the same thing. They're like, yeah, you can say no, but then we can just take you to court,
right?
And we're gonna probably get our way anyway. So the question is, why now? Like, why after all this time is this happening? I mean, how long have these Mario assets been in this game?
I don't know. And it's just so you know, it's not like it's like one person. Like it's not like Gary himself was uploading this stuff. It's the community, right? It's the regular folk who add to the game to make it better. It's not just one. It's like probably hundreds or thousands of people, more likely thousands of people who've uploaded these assets, and all of them have to go. And Valve's job now is like, because they're playing ball, they're like, all right, please make our job easy. People out there,
and take your stuff down.
Take your stuff down for us, so we don't have to take it down. Because don't act like that we can't just do it anyway, and we will do it because Nintendo is in charge here. And so they're pretty much just pleading that the community takes down the Nintendo stuff themselves.
Well, if not, it's just going to be it's just going to be a lot of work on their hands.
Exactly. So they're basically asking people to do it themselves to make Valve's life easier just because they're just trying to be nice here. They're not trying to step on Nintendo's shoes, because obviously that doesn't behoove them to do that.
Yeah, it's their IP. I mean, it's dumb. It's stupid to do this now. I know that's the way you feel about this, but bottom line, I mean, it is their stuff. It's hard to argue with them like, oh, no, you're being a jerk. Well, you know what? They're like, we don't care.
Arlo had an amazing analogy that I'll do my best to recreate and share. it's kind of like this old guy who lives on his own, has his own property, has a big backyard. And for the last 20 years, there's been kids playing on his backyard. And it's his property. He can do and say whatever he wants, but he's chosen to just let it ride. Of course, he's been aware of it. It's in his backyard. He can see kids playing on it every single day for 20 years. And one day, he walks outside, takes his cane all pissed off, shakes it in the air and goes, "Get the fuck off my lawn or I'm calling the cops." And all little Ginny's and Timmy's friends are just scramming out of there faster than they can say hot potato. But then there's a couple stragglers who are like, "No, you can't make us." But obviously, that old man can call the cops and be like, "Yo, you got to go."
I mean, maybe
either go
maybe
easy
the
way or go
Nintendo
the hard way.
Ninjas just had a rough day, and they were like, you know what? I'm sick of this Gary asshole, and I'm gonna tell him. I'm gonna tell him right now what I think of him and his stupid little game.
Yeah,
probably what happened. And then the next day, they're probably like, "Hey, Gary, like, I was just upset. You know, I was having a bad day. I didn't mean to come at you like that, but you know, we've already started this, so we're gonna need you to take this shit down."
Yeah, so
I'm sure that's
I do think it's stupid, but I do understand the perspective of Nintendo. It is their right to say, "Get off my lawn," and it sucks though, because 20 years people have been playing on that lawn, no problem.
Well, but a lot of things have changed, and that's what I was thinking about. Today when we talked about this, or yesterday when you told me about it. Lots of things have changed at Nintendo.
Yes.
One of which being their IP. They're starting to put that in a lot of other stuff besides video games, and they want full control over this stuff.
Yeah.
We got the Mario movie, we got Zelda movies coming out, we got theme parks and stuff happening now. They want way more control over this IP. That's why they keep doing this. It's got to be. It's got to be something now where it's changed, where it's not just, Mario's in our video games and he's in a video. No, now Mario is a movie star.
Right.
Now Mario has his own theme park. Now Mario is worth a lot more than he used to be. So, you thought they protected it then. I mean, just imagine what they're going to do now. Imagine what the Mario franchise is going to be worth once the second Mario movie comes out. And once this park in Orlando is actually opened, and they've got 3 places around the world that have Mario theme parks: California, Orlando, and where's the other one? Japan?
I think so, yeah.
I mean, that's got to be their reasoning behind this. It's got to be. That's the only thing that's changed. But we've seen them completely decimate people over this over the past 4 or 5 years. They've been going hard, and I'm sure that's got to be why.
Yeah, and I think you're right on that. As far as that is why. It's because recently Nintendo's been going on a tear. That is just but why didn't they tear this up years ago? I don't know. Probably because it doesn't matter. And that's the thing. It's not like Nintendo's the only assets that are in that game. I mean, dude, countless IPs people rip off for that Gary's Mod game, because it's any PNG you can get anybody could modify PNG to make it into a 3D space, which is probably a lot of people out there. You can take any PNG
there like
you
Disney
want.
characters and stuff in there?
I don't know, Drip, but you name something, it's in the game. Like, it's that kind of thing. First of all, it's been around for so long. People have had time to put whatever they want in there. But number two, just like I just said, do Google search image. What can you find? That's within the game. Whatever you can find on Google image search, my guess is in that game. It's just as simple as that. And plus, not only that, people can make their own custom stuff, so they can make it look like. And don't think about, you were talking about movies, Mario in the movie, which is a valid point and correct. It's not like there isn't like James Bond mods out there, I'm sure, or name any IP. I'm
sure, yeah.
It's in there.
But we know Nintendo's overly protective of their property anyway. They're just going to be more overly. I mean, that's got to be what's going on here. But I wanted to bring something else up too.
Sure.
I wanted to have this conversation first before we jumped back around to it. But you don't know what Dreams is?
No,
dude. Holy crap! It's nuts. It's basically the same idea as what this. I'm guessing is what this is. I actually stumbled across a YouTube video last night where a guy made a full open world Jurassic Park game in Dreams, and it looks incredible. And it is like spot on. Like, Universal contacted him and said, like, you have to change your game because it could be mistaken for an actual Jurassic Park game. So they made him change. They're like, you can keep everything. You got to take the Jurassic Park names out, the logo. You got to do your own. So he unveiled his new logo and stuff. So what is it? Cretaceous something. I don't remember. But the logo's good. He showed like his ideas of making the logo and stuff. But the game's crazy. I'm wondering if Gary's mod is like that.
Probably.
Is it that deep?
Oh, dude. Yeah. I mean, so actually, quickly before we move on, Full Metal did actually have a good thing to say here, kind of explaining better than what I could what Gary's mod is. Gary's mod uses the Half-Life 2 engine. So Half-Life 2, the video game, uses the physics from that game. So the general, that's what the game is. Gary's mod is basically Half-Life 2. And then
Okay.
then people add to that, essentially. My best way to recreate what you said. I'm sure I was inaccurate in some way, but not the exact point here. If you want to know more Gary's mod, check it out. It's super fun. I've been, like I said, you make some funny YouTube content with it.
This is just a Steam thing, correct?
I believe so. And I believe it's just a Valve Steam thing. Because isn't Half-Life 2 that Half-Life, that's Valve's property. That's Half-Life.
Yes, I believe so, yeah.
So yeah, it's on Steam. It's Steam thing. PC. All right, Drip, before we move on to our main topic, getting into the Zelda stuff, we have to get to today's sponsor. And today's episode is sponsored by Fixture Gaming. Drip, I know that you and I use a ton of Nintendo Switch accessories, but there's nothing quite like the Fixture S2 on the market. The Fixture S2 mount connects the Nintendo Switch OLED to the Pro Controller to making a comfortable and reliable alternative to Joy-Cons. If you're like me and you find the Joy-Cons to be cramped and actually hurt your hands after a period of time, the Fixture S2 is exactly what you're looking for. Drip, I know you've been using the Fixture S2 for a bit of time now, and you've actually made a video on the Fixture S1 for the original LCD model of the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, that was back in the day. I liked it then, I like it now. And the cool thing about it now is, obviously now it fits the OLED, which is great, but you can get it to fit the 8BitDo Ultimate controller too. So not only do you have the option to use a Pro Controller with it, you can also use the 8BitDo Ultimate or the 8BitDo Ultimate C, which is only a $30 controller. So you can get a pretty good deal. If you don't want to be using your Joy-Cons, you want to use a controller, this is probably the best way to do it, and I'd say probably the cheapest way to do it as well.
And one more thing, Drip, talk about our discount code.
Oh, well, cheap. Let me tell you about our discount code. You can go to Fixture Gaming's website, and you can type in the code DRIPMEDIA. Is that what it is? Or is
that is what it is. DRIPMEDIA. It's on the screen right now if you're watching the video.
DRIPMEDIA, and you get $10 off. And it's stackable, correct? We did find that out.
That is correct.
If there's any other deals going on, you can put it on top of that too, so you can get a hell of a deal. And definitely worth picking one up. If you've got the Pro Controller or the 8BitDo Ultimate or C, it's definitely the way to play.
Like Drip said, you can go to fixturegaming.com and get the Fixture S2 or any of Fixture's products for $10 off using code DRIPMEDIA. That is code DRIPMEDIA. One word. And thank you, Fixture, for sponsoring today's episode. Yeah! Drip.
Jeeb!
I know we all want to play 60 FPS 4K Breath of the Wild, but do we want to play a Zelda game where Zelda is the star? Zelda is the playable character.
See, the answer to this question is yes, and the answer to this question is no. There are a lot of variables in this for me.
We'll go over some.
Is it a mainline Zelda game?
I would say it probably would not be. It would be a spin-off
Then I would be
game.
fine with it. I would be fine with it. If we want to do a spin-off Zelda game, whatever, because there hasn't really been a whole lot of actual Zelda spin-offs. You know what I mean? There have been a few. What have we had? We've had like Link's crossbow training.
Yep.
We had what's the Crypt of the Necrodancer one? What's
Hyrule Crypt of the Necrodancer? It's really just
what was it called? Cadence of Hyrule. Cadence of Hyrule. That was a good one. We've had we played as Zelda in
Hyrule Warriors. Both editions.
Both of them. So there's been spin-offs, but it would be cool to see Zelda in a spin-off game that's not so far spun off. You know what I mean?
Right. And let me get
still in the same area of let's not go there. Maybe it's still the same map as Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, but you're playing a different style of game as Zelda.
let's get to this real quick. Again, shout out to Arlo. A lot of my content this week came from Arlo. Thank you, dude. Papa Geno's on Twitter. I couldn't tell you the relevance of who this guy is. I'm sure that they've done something where they got something right at some point, and probably a lot wrong as well, but that's not the point. All this conversation is stemming from this tweet that was posted up, and I'll read it for you guys or watching or listening to this episode. Tears of the Kingdom had a great Zelda design, and I think we're severely overdue for a game where Zelda is the main character. Seems to me a Hyrule adventure is like that is something that seems like a Hyrule adventure like that is something that fans want. Now's the time. And there's a picture of some of the artwork that was posted up recently by Nintendo, showing off different Zelda's haircuts that were not used in the game, but just showing off the concepts, what they were going with. But one more thing in this tweet. Obviously that tweet doesn't say anything, but it cryptically says something. If you look at in the tweet and you look at all of the capital letters in the tweet, THIS, this, and then the next one, I think is IS, is, the next one is A. This is a, what is it? Crap.
I can't see it.
This is, I don't know. It's a cryptic thing, basically saying like this is like a hint or so. Oh, that's what it is. This is a hint. That's what it was. Sorry, guys.
You nailed it. You nailed it.
I forgot. Yeah. I forgot what it was, and then I remembered because my dyslexic brain was having a very hard time finding the capital letters.
You nailed it. You did
but
so
this,
good.
In capital letters, it spells out this is a hint in the tweet. So apparently they're hinting at a Zelda game. So that's
I mean, yeah, okay. As long as this, I don't want this to replace Link as the main character of mainline Zelda games. I don't want that.
Yeah,
I don't want that.
No. A full-on replacement for the future? No, that's ridiculous. That wouldn't happen. That wouldn't happen at all. I think what we're getting at is a spin-off game, even if it's another Hyrule Warrior. Listen, this could be all very simple. This could be very, very simple. People could making this way more complicated than it is. This could just mean we're hinting at the next Hyrule Warriors game because Zelda's a playable character in that game. Maybe she'll be the focus in it. Maybe she'll be like, most Hyrule Warriors games, they all start out, well, the last two, I should say, the first two. They start with Link as the character you're playing as, and then you unlock the other characters as you go.
Yeah, they actually basically both start exactly the same, don't they? Now I'm thinking about it. Like you're a knight, and then you're like,
yeah. So maybe this one is like you start as Zelda. Maybe this one is you start as Zelda, which I think would actually be an awesome addition to the Hyrule Warriors series to make this one centered around Zelda, and Zelda is your main then you unlock Link later.
Hey, guess what?
What is that?
That game you made up, I don't know when, that everybody seems to be talking about now?
Hyrule.
Guess who
I didn't make it up, Drip.
I
leaked it, Drip.
You did leak it. I forgot. We are leakers.
Mm-hmm.
We are leakers. No, think about that, though. If it is the imprisoning war, Zelda is the main character. She's the one that went back in time, and that's what the game would be about, right?
I would say you nailed it, Drip.
Did we just figure this out? Did we just leak this right now on our show? We did. Sorry, guys. We're leakers. It happens.
It happens, dude. Sometimes you got a good leak, and you got to just take it when you get it,
Take the leak. Yeah, take a leak. It's fine. Yeah, I don't hate that idea. If that's what it is, I'm down with that because we've already talked about that. I really enjoyed Age of Calamity. I really liked it. I know you did too. I know. Hashtag take the leak. I know you really liked it. I really liked it. The frame rate was terrible. Can you imagine a game like that on a Switch 2 that the frame rate's not terrible? And it's that'd be fun, man.
I can imagine it. In fact, I desire it.
Yeah, if that's the Zelda game, then yes, I'm with that.
Yeah.
And I don't see that actually, that's not crazy now.
No.
At the beginning of this conversation, I was like, nah, it ain't happening. Now, I think I've changed my mind on that a little bit.
And I spilled some delicious Cayman Jack margarita all up in my mustache and beard.
You got to be careful with that stuff. You don't want to spill it. You got to savor the flavor.
Sometimes when I take a drink, my mouth doesn't work. That ever happen to you? Like I go to take my drink and somehow it just leaks out the side. Like how?
Man, sometimes this is the most embarrassing thing ever. But sometimes I'll have an energy drink or something, or sometimes it's a beer. If I'm watching TV and not paying attention, just sitting around the couch at night, I'll just pick the can up and the little mouth hole's like sideways. And I just go to take a drink and it just dumps down the side of my face. Like, oops, that was
Drip,
a mistake.
We've all been
Oh.
there, Drip. It's okay. We've all been there.
Yeah, I mean, I think I do it more
Just
than the normal person.
make
though.
sure that the open part is not on the top, because then if you do it, you're just getting a
Oh, yeah.
nose
Oh,
full.
man.
You're getting a nose full.
Yeah,
I've done that.
that'd be way worse.
I've definitely done
I don't think
that.
I've ever actually done that.
Oh yeah, definitely done that.
That's
before.
awful.
Oh, it's terrible. Speaking of terrible,
push light up my nose.
Speaking of, oh, by the way, before we move on with my amazing segue, when does the game come out? Is this a launch game or is it a near launch?
Oh, I don't know, but yeah, this could be next year's Zelda game, easily.
Yeah,
This could be the 2025 Zelda game.
Mhm.
This could be the 2024 Zelda game. Still, honestly, this could be a Switch release with a Ultimate Edition released on the Switch too.
I would love a dual release so I could buy it twice, and I will.
I mean,
I gladly will.
What's the other one? The Hyrule Warriors, the original, was a Wii U game. They re-released that.
I bought that one twice because
Well, yeah,
I
me too.
I didn't buy it when it came out because I didn't have a Wii U then, but I eventually bought the game.
Shit, I think I
for
bought
the
it 3
Wii U.
times.
Realized that the Wii U copy, because it was way cheaper, it was like $15 on eBay.
Yeah, it's 30
brand
frames
new.
per second.
But I did not realize it was a low frame rate. I'm like, oh crap! Like I should have
Yeah, it
bought the
runs
Switch
30
version.
and what? I mean, it's
not a solid.
720p.
Yeah, it's not a solid 60 on the Switch, but it's much better, and it's 1080p.
Oh, it's way better. Yeah.
And it's 1080p on the Switch, and that,
Well, yeah, I
that
mean-
makes all the difference right there.
And then they re-released it on Switch. Yeah, it's 60 frames per second.
Almost. It's not a solid 60.
Yeah,
but
and it's got
close.
all the extra stuff in it. But you know that's a 3DS game too, right?
Yeah, they made that game later on in the 3DS.
Yeah,
after the
For the new
Wii version
3DS.
came
I
out.
bought that too. I had all the versions of it.
That version stunk.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
No.
Hey, dude, I was just trying to play it handheld though.
Because I was looking at the cost thing because the physical version of that for Switch was so expensive, right? And again, we're
Yeah,
talking about the
60.
original.
I think
Hyrule
it's
Warriors.
still 60 right now.
Oh no, it's out of print. They don't make it anymore. So you have to find it, whoever has it, and
wow.
and people
it's
who
not even on the eShop.
no, it's on the eShop. I'm talking about the physical
Okay.
version. And
Okay.
in order to get the physical version, you either have to find new old stock from somewhere because they're not printing it anymore, or you have to buy from a reseller for like $70, like more than retail or like close
Wow,
to it.
I didn't realize they weren't printing that anymore.
Yeah, it's stupid. I don't know why they're not doing it. There's actually that's an episode we could do later on in the future. There is a ton, and I mean a ton, of games that you wouldn't expect to be out of print for the Switch right now that they don't make anymore. Like Origami King is one of them, I do believe. Origami King, it's out of print, dude. They're not making it.
What?
Yeah, they're not making. They're not printing anymore. The whatever is there, and people can buy. It doesn't mean that there's low stock, right? That doesn't mean that there's not a lot of stock. I'm just telling you the fact that they're not printing it anymore. And there's a bunch of other games, including Hyrule Warriors, the original version. They're just not printing them anymore. So whatever is out there is what's out there. Kind of crazy to think about. The Switch has never been more successful. Yet here we are still. Here we are
Yeah,
at the end of
we're
its
just gonna
life, and they're
stop
kind of
printing this game.
they're not
Yeah,
printing the
like-
game anymore. It's kind of crazy.
I don't know. I mean, you'd figure they'd wait to at least like I
But
don't know. I guess it is
in a
kinda
way,
time.
though, it makes sense because let's say the games they made. Let's say they made like 10 million copies of
And
Origami
then they're
King.
just sitting on these.
They didn't.
copies,
They didn't
yeah.
sell 10 million. They sold probably a good amount, but they didn't sell 10 million of them. So there's a lot of stock out there that they're like, well, why we printing more? Like, just can't, we're done. I make it out of print. So it makes sense why they would do it. It's just kind of weird to think about. Like, it's the current system.
So I bet you could probably find them in stores still.
Yeah, and also, by the way, this is I think another one's like Metroid Dread. I believe that one was out of print like the year after. Like, it's not like we're not talking about like just recently. I'm talking like it's been a thing, and it's been a thing for a while for a lot of
I'll
Switch
look
games.
into that.
Yeah, we'll do an episode on that.
Well, yeah,
I
that
think,
one slowed down in sales too. But I mean, I don't know. That's wild. I don't know.
Hold on. Out of print Switch games. Okay, well, I got that in the pod ID room, so we don't forget about it. Giggity.
Nice, good job. Nailed
All right, Drip. Oop, I closed the window that I needed to see. Right.
Nice.
Right. So, Drip, let's move on to our second to last topic here, and that is Zelda Breath of the Wild could be re-released soon, and it could be 60 FPS, 4K,
My God! Okay,
with
it's happening.
minimal
Everybody
to
stay calm.
no
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm.
with minimal to no wait times for load screens.
So weird. Like, that's a crazy idea. I've never heard anybody talk about that, ever. I've never heard Breath of the Wild with no loading screens running at 4K 60. That's never come up anywhere before, has it, Jeeb? No one's ever talked about that.
Of course you're being sarcastic, because that is a leak that we heard. At this point, it's been a little bit of time now, probably like a year.
It's been about, what, now,
6 months to a year, somewhere in that ballpark.
7 months.
And that was, what convention was that at?
Oh, boy. Gamescom? No?
Sure. We can go with Gamescom. It doesn't need to be accurate.
Know if it was.
The point is, one of those conventions or, public gatherings, Nintendo was at. And apparently, you may remember this leak if you watch our show for a while. Apparently, at one of those conventions, the rumor was that Nintendo was showing off beta hardware or whatever, pre-alpha hardware, what do you call that?
They said it was not actual. It wasn't an actual Switch. It was on par with what the new Nintendo Switch was going to be able to do performance-wise. Whatever machine they were using was on par with what they were making. So it was kind of just a demo of the game, not really the system.
If you guys have ever seen like developer consoles, you should look it up. There's lots of YouTube videos you could see out there. Really interesting, because the developer consoles look absolutely nothing like what the final console looks like.
Remember that V-shaped PS5 thing that looked like
No, actually I don't.
Oh, the PS5 dev kits. It looked like an old Xbox, but it was like V-shaped.
Nice. I actually don't know. I said that, and I don't know. I've not seen many developer kits, but there's one kit. I've seen a few Nintendo ones, some of the handhelds developer kits, but I've also seen, I believe there was a Wii developer kit. Obviously, we all know what the Wii looks like. It's like very slender,
there's nothing to it.
Rectangles, nothing to it. The developer kit was like this ginormous block with like big tubes coming out of it. It looked ridiculous, like nothing like it. So in this case, to kind of give you guys a visual, Nintendo did not have the Switch 2. They had some sort of like block of tech, that was housing hardware that'd be comparable to what the Switch 2 would eventually have. And
a block of tech.
A block of tech. Also known as a computer. I don't know why I didn't just say computer, because that's basically
it's a block of tech. Come check out my block of tech. I have one right under my desk here. I've also got another one here that plays video games on top of my desk. It's a block of tech as well. Look at this. I found another block of tech.
Oh my God. If you guys could be in this podcast.
Another one. I found another block of tech.
This podcast
I have lots of them.
If anybody questions what's going on in my brain, just watch this podcast, because that's the best idea you're gonna get of how my brain works is through this show. But
I have a block of tech over here that keeps my beer cold. It's a big one.
I guess you could call that tech.
Big.
It's anyway, Drip. Embarrassing me any further. They had a developer kit, a block of tech, if you will, at this convention, and they were showing off hardware. And at the demos they were using was a Final Fantasy VII, or was it? No, it was a Matrix demo. Was that what it was?
The Matrix demo is what it was. Yeah, it was the Matrix demo they used to show off. See, that was the weird thing. They were saying that they were showing off ray tracing and stuff in that, which means it's a new build of the Matrix stuff, because that's not what the original one was there to show off. It was there to show off like the load speeds and different stuff like that, like the textures and all the things that they could have loading in and doing what they were doing. It wasn't about ray tracing, but they were saying that they're showing off ray tracing with that in that room. Yeah. Did you play that Matrix demo?
No.
It was pretty incredible.
Yeah.
It was pretty awesome. Yeah, it was really fun. I mean, obviously very short, very polished, very to the point of the tiny thing that it was.
Right.
It was cool. It was cool. If that runs on the Switch like that with ray tracing, holy crap, man.
Yeah.
Switch 2.
Well, yeah,
holy
but
crap.
What I'm more interested in, and probably a lot of you out there, is the Breath of the Wild version. And it's not so crazy to think that was true, and now they're actually going to release that, which makes a lot of sense. Of course they would put that out. I mean, listen, at the point of the Switch 2, when it gets released, it would be 8 years since Breath of the Wild came out.
Well, yeah, and think about this.
8 years. That is a long time.
Yeah.
It is time for Breath of the Wild to be a little refreshed. I wouldn't say a full remake or anything crazy like that.
No. It doesn't need that, obviously.
Well,
but we just talked about it.
Hey, Drip.
We just talked about this.
The definitive edition of Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense, right?
But that's what I'm saying. We just had a conversation like this 10 minutes ago with Hyrule Warriors, the original.
Yeah.
It ran 30 FPS-ish on the Wii U. And then they brought it over to the Switch, which had more power. It could run 60, 1080 docked. I mean, this is not that crazy to think that this would happen. And it's not unheard of for companies to do this. I mean, every single company has done stuff like this as far as the like the PS4 to PS5, the Xbox One to the Xbox Series S and X. I mean, they've done this 100. I mean, my God. How many times have they redone The Last of Us Part 1, Part 2? Like, my God, how many times have they remastered that game? Like 3 within the past, like, what, 10 years? I don't even think it's a stretch to say.
Yeah.
I mean, they had Last of Us Part 2 remastered, and then they went back again and they did Last of Us. What did they call it? Was it remake?
I don't know.
But now the new one, the Last of Us Part 2, the remake, the sequel, the remastered definitive until the next one we put out.
Yeah.
Series. I don't know. This isn't crazy. So
no. And here's why it's not too crazy as well, Drip. And I'm going to get to this little article from Game Rant that has a tweet up. I'm going to show you guys on the screen here if you're watching. The original code name for Breath of the Wild was U-King. And apparently that code name came back up very recently, but with the ending suffix of O, like the letter O. So it was U-King O recently came up. And
right. The O is the O supposedly internally the Switch 2 is being called Oz or OZ. That's like the I don't know exactly what they're saying.
Right.
But that's the internal name for it.
So,
and if you look back at the original, what's the one from the original Breath of the Wild?
U-King.
Okay, yeah, and I guess that was whatever the code was for Nintendo Switch is the U. Right?
I think so, yeah. I believe that's right. So U would be Nintendo Switch, King would be Breath of the Wild, and in this case, the ending O.
No. No, see, I'm talking about
what are you talking about?
The King O is the name of this one.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. There was the original Breath of the Wild didn't have an O at the end. It had a different letter. I don't know what it was, but it wasn't U. U's at the beginning of this one.
Oh well, maybe I got this wrong. No. It says in this. It says in this tweet. It says in this tweet right here.
That up because I want to see it.
The enhanced version of Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild's code name is U-King, so that's confirmed. Breath of the Wild's code, not this new one. Breath of the Wild's original code name was U-King. And I think you were on the right track when you said U is the Switch.
Okay.
And King would have been Breath of the Wild. That was all stuff that happened. That was all concluded years ago. Why this is being brought up again now is that U-King O recently popped up. And if we just put context clue together.
U-King, the suffix on the old one was S. That's what it was. It had an S on it. U-King-S. Now it's U-King-O. That's the difference. Okay, I just found it. Sorry. That's what I was talking about.
We found all the Lego pieces, man. We got the page done.
Yeah, we got it. We got there. Okay. So that's what I'm talking about. So internally they are called S for Switch, I'm guessing. O. Whatever the internal name is OZ is what they're calling it. I don't know how they're pronouncing it, if it's Oz or
right.
So, I mean, this makes sense. And I mean, this is way too much of anything to be just a coincidence. You know what I mean? Like
it is weird though how this would get out. How did that get out? Because that gives away that this is happening. Like Nintendo should be smarter than that, don't you think? They would be smarter, wouldn't you think?
I don't know. I mean, leaks happen all the time, man. You know this. Look at us. We leak everything. We're crazy leakers. Right?
Yeah, I guess so. It's just kind of crazy. It's a little hard for me to believe because it just seems like such a simple thing they can keep behind closed doors. How did that get leaked out? Because it's so well known what U-King is. U-King was from the Breath of the Wild. It's been documented.
I don't know. Like I said, I haven't looked that much into this stuff, honestly. I think it all makes sense. It just kind of fits together just because, I mean, first off, we've been hearing this stuff like, oh yeah, behind closed doors, they played Breath of the Wild 60 frames per second. Now all of a sudden, I heard the initial rumor, and I was like, that is somebody latching on to that stupid thing that happened over the summer or whatever it was, September, whenever they were all behind like those rumors. Somebody's latching onto that and trying to act like they know. But this makes it like, it's hard to go against it if you have this type of information.
Let's just
I just want to know where the information came from.
Yeah, that's not this podcast because we don't know. But let's just say this, Drip. I know the answer, but I think I know what you're going to say, but I'm going to ask you anyway for the sake of content. Should Nintendo do this even if it's not true? Should Nintendo put out this game?
Yes. Why not? Why the hell wouldn't they? Yes.
I mean, it's poetic to me. Now, what we can get into the question of whether it should be a launch title in the same general area. It doesn't. I guarantee you, it's not going to be what sells the Switch too. They're not going to be that dumb. But they could say, here's our launch game. Here's a big third party game, and
I see this being a
while you wait for those two to come out. Here's Breath of the Wild, fresh definitive edition, the definitive edition to come out while you wait for your other titles as well.
I think that I think there'll be a launch title. Like I said last week, I'm kind of banking on a Mario for the launch, but
yeah. But like
this is like one of those summer games. This is one of those year one remaster, whatever definitive edition games that comes out
with all the DLC included
of July. With the DLC included.
Yeah.
They'll probably do a little special packaging with it. Has some little stuff maybe. I mean, I don't know. This is easy. This is a slam dunk for Nintendo. Why not do this?
Or Drip.
Year one, halfway through the year.
Or Drip. So here's two ideas of how we could go with this. We could get the definitive edition that comes with all the DLC and everything like that, 64K. Or Drip. We could get, and that game would cost somewhere between $60 and $70, full price, okay? Or we could get the upgraded route. So like how PS5, Xbox do it, where you can just pay to upgrade the game. I think it's just PS5. Does Xbox do that?
PlayStation did it. I'm not sure about Xbox. PlayStation did it a lot.
I know
it was
that
like a $10. It's like a $10 upgrade. Or $15
do you think?
Sometimes.
Do you think we already pretty much know the cartridge?
Yeah, good luck, buddy.
We already know the cartridge slot's going to be there, so people are going to bring their cartridges over, and they're going to be playing Breath of the Wild on the Switch too. And Nintendo could nerf the power and just give you the same performance of the original Switch. They say you can play your old cartridges, but it's going to run just like it did in the Switch, no difference. But buddies. You're not going to buy the game again because you're not our demographic to do that. But you might benefit with your old cartridge. Give us $20. I would think it's $25. They're going to be like $25, 4K on the go, 60 FPS. No need to buy anything else from us, or it's including your Nintendo Switch Online service, which we're now doubling the price for the new generation.
I think you're wrong on both.
I'm not saying
buy this shit for $70.
I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I am saying that this is an option.
I'm saying option 3, and it's that they charge $70 for it, and they don't give you any way to upgrade. It's just, would you like to buy Breath of the Wild?
That's option.
Or
that's
would you
option
like
one.
To buy
that's option one.
Breath of the Wild Definitive Edition, because they're two different games. But if you want this one's just this. It's got no DLC. You can get the DLC if you want it. It's extra money. Or you can pay $10 more and get the definitive edition, all the DLC. You say you already have all that,
Drip,
but it's not 4K.
And here's why that's actually that's the most likely option. And I agree with you. That's what they're going to do. Because going back to Hyrule Warriors real fast, use that comparison again. The original Hyrule Warriors was Hyrule Warriors. And on the Wii U, they eventually put some DLC out that you could buy, and that was the game. Then on the Switch, and it ran 30 FPS. Then on the Switch, they slapped the definitive title on the end of it. They made it run 60 FPS, and it included the DLC. It's the exact scenario being rebuilt again, but for Breath of the Wild.
You could find 1,000 scenarios where companies have done that. Nintendo especially. They do it a lot. The definitive edition. It's... I mean, how many definitive editions do we have on the Switch?
A lot.
I mean, isn't there like a Xenoblade Chronicles definitive edition?
Isn't there a Donkey Kong definitive edition? Country?
Tropical Freeze.
Isn't that definitive?
I don't know if it's
or
called
that's deluxe.
Edition.
That's deluxe, right?
No, I don't even know if that's a deluxe, but it doesn't matter.
Well, there's
whatever you want to brand
there's
it.
the Mario
Definitive
Wii U
edition,
games, the Wii
deluxe.
There's the Mario Wii games drip with the deluxe tag, which is the same thing as basically the same definitive.
Yeah.
Just a
That's what
different
I'm
kind
saying.
of idea.
No matter what they want to call it, they're selling it to you again.
Yeah.
And I think this will be a year one. If it's real,
I
think it's like halfway through the year, summer.
Thinking of another one, drip, it's not either definitive or deluxe. This is actually, they did something different with this one. If you remember 3D World. That's not deluxe or whatever, but it is different.
Plus Bowser's Fury.
So like it is another idea, and they up 1080p from 720.
Added
a whole new game. Yeah, DLC.
And charged you the same price for it again.
More because these games cost
$50,
more.
Yeah.
And it was, but I think at least early in the Wii U's days, I don't know, but later in the Wii U's days, that game was 20.
Oh yeah, well, I mean that was later. It wasn't selling. They were trying to get rid of stuff. No.
Yeah, later, like 4 years later.
It launched at $50. I think that's what Wii U games. I think they were 50. Maybe they were 60.
Nope, they were 50. I can guarantee you that because Twilight Princess, when I bought it in the Wii U, was $50.
Okay. Yeah. Now they charge 60.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Bowser's Fury is awesome. I think that's worth 60 itself. I think that's
it's a short game. Too short for 60, I think.
I think we're going to see a lot more of that on the Switch too. Actually, some crazy things like that. Bowser's Fury.
I would think so. I think the next Mario game might look a lot like Bowser's Fury. And drip, that's a good segue to our next and final topic, which is kind of a fun one. Do you want to shout this YouTuber real fast?
Yeah, I got his channel pulled up here. I don't want to mess this up.
I do as well. Yeah.
So his name is Endo, like Nintendo, and his logo is actually like the same thing, but it just says the end of it. It's pretty clever. He just showed up on my feed last night. He's got like 23,000 subscribers. I really enjoyed this video, and it made me just want to honestly talk about his ideas here. He's basically predicting, the name of the video is predicting every Switch 2 game. And he doesn't predict every Switch 2 game. The video is 15 minutes long. But he's got some good ideas. I like a lot of them. And I kind of just wanted to go over a few of them. And one of them is the first one. He goes straight into the 3D Mario. And as you know, I think 3D Mario is going to be the first game we get on the Switch 2.
Yeah.
But I also think, as he does, this is going to be a gigantic, expanded version of Bowser's Fury. Open world, and instead of having a hub world where you're like, going in, then you go into the level, right. It's just going to be a gigantic area where there's like there's a desert over here,
like Bowser's Fury.
Yeah.
Well,
but it's all contained a little bit less. You know what I mean? It's not as big. Imagine that, but like massive, like actually massive, like a huge Mario game like that. Because that was fun. I love that. The way that they had it set up, I think it worked really well. It still felt like Mario 3D levels, especially the newer stuff. But it was just so open-ended. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was open. That was the whole game. It was an open world. But the way they got around that from restricting you to get around the open worldness was you had to complete the one level, in the one area in the open world. Because they restrict you from going anywhere else because they put that black Bowser slime everywhere. So you could, if you can't go in the Bowser black slime. Each area in the world was covered up with the black slime. But once you completed the one little section that you needed to complete, the lighthouse would remove all of the slime for the next area that you go into next. Yeah. And they could do something very similar to that in larger scale for the next Mario game.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? You get whatever items that help you get through to the next area.
Doesn't be the exact right. It doesn't be the exact idea. It could be
another thing. He had a really good idea, and I think this is like long overdue for a 3D Mario game. And I mean, at this point, Switch 2, the power it's supposedly going to have, we're going to be able to do a lot more. They need to fix their internet structure. We need like real online multiplayer with something like that, like actual online multiplayer, not just you get to be Mario's fucking hat, or you can be, some stupid ass thing that they always do with these Mario games. True multiplayer, because that's what it reminds me of too. Like you're looking for the cat shines and stuff, right? You know what it reminds me of? The way it is, how it's so open ended.
Yeah.
It's like you have that list of stuff you can do. Like, oh, there's this thing over here. I need to go get that. And I could find all these things and then get that cat shine. And you're going to make fun of me when I say this, but it's like quests in Fortnite. Like, it's all open. You got a big list of shit you can do. You can do it whenever you want. You don't have to, you know. But like, it's just so open-ended. I love that idea. And then doing it with a friend, like doing it with somebody else online, I feel like that would really, really take a Mario game like that to the next level.
Yeah, stop putting disrespect on Cappy's name, Drip. Cappy was the boss.
All right, listen. Cappy's fine, but if you... Like, okay, cool. You want to play two-player Mario Odyssey? Okay, Jeep, you're going to be the Cap. You cool with that?
Now, I interpret this a little bit differently. I don't think Mario game, it's a single-player experience. I don't believe that Mario needs better online multiplayer. What I think Mario needs is better co-op. Whether it's online or not the point. What they need to do is make the co-op the second option to play with your younger brother mode, we can call it.
Yeah.
To not suck. To be much better.
Because it does.
Let's just have have Luigi come along. Why not?
Yeah.
Just
like,
have Luigi
as a team. Like really, like
work as a team through the platforming. Have platforming puzzles that are designed for two
not
players.
Just like, oh, we're jumping on each other and
Here, Cappy, I'm going to jump on you to get across a small gap.
Yeah.
Hooray. And Bowser's Fury.
And I'm not talking about the same way they...
In Bowser's Fury, Drip, you have Bowser Jr. He can slap a painting on the wall and get you a coin. No, he does stuff. Like, I'm telling you what he does.
Not that. I mean, okay, that's what he does. Yeah, but what is that, like...
Right.
Really?
It doesn't equate it to anything, which is the point I was getting to. Is like, it doesn't make it worthwhile. We don't need the online multiplayer. I think that'd be cool, but that is what games like a 3D World are there for. We should have that spinoff of 3D World should be remade and have its own 2D 3D spinoff version of Mario, and that is the online multiplayer Mario game. Keep that in that series. That's where as you guys know, that's my favorite 3D Mario game is 3D World. So like make a sequel to that and keep putting those out every midterm, right? But on the main terms where the 3D Mario mainline games come out, just make the co-op experience better. Why the fuck is it's little brother? Everybody knows it's little brother mode. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So put little brother in the game. Mario has a little brother.
A brother actually has one. Yeah, I like that.
Let's just put Luigi in the game.
So
Luigi take his time.
The next thing he talked about in this video, which I really love this idea, and we've heard these rumors forever. Yeah. It's not coming to the Switch, clearly. The Donkey Kong game, what that's going to be. Because obviously, like, we haven't had a new Donkey Kong game since Tropical Freeze, and then they just re-released Tropical Freeze.
Right.
We haven't had anything. His idea in this video, I really, really loved. This is one of the ones, this is probably in the point in the video I was like, I have to talk about this. This is so fucking cool. Leaning in to the Mario movie for the next Donkey Kong game. Like the lore that they set up, like the they are the ones who are doing the carts. They're the ones who are building the carts. So put the carts in the Donkey Kong game, in an open world Donkey Kong game. That's how you're getting around. You could build your own cart. There's different areas of your map. There's jungle area, there's swamps, but you can build your car however you need to. You can have a little fast car to get through certain places, or you can have a big tough one that's going to help you get through these jungles and this and that. Maybe switch the parts out.
I love
stuff like that.
I love the whole concept.
That would be so much fun. And
and did you say it already? Finally make it 3D.
Well, they did a 3D one on the 64, and some people liked. I didn't think it was that great. Yeah, Donkey Kong 64 is 3D.
Oh wow. Okay, I'd not played Donkey Kong 64.
You should try it out.
I will.
I'm not a huge fan, but it's all right. It's not terrible. But this is a chance to go back to that 2D Donkey Kong, man. Come on, like it's fine, but
dude, that'd be so cool. Like it'd be giving give it a story, give it a full story, voice acting and all. Like,
oh yeah, he had an idea for a story, which was also
Banjo-Kazooie
great
style. Like, yeah, with the the carts.
The story was what was the story? Oh, who's the leader? His dad or whatever in the movie?
Yeah, the movie. Yeah, whatever.
King K. Rool steals him. And that's the plot of the game is you got to go through and like you got to try to find him, and there's a big story about Donkey Kong and this and that. I I really like that one. What was his next one? I'm trying to just kind of scrub through the video and find.
I got some. Let's forget about that because I have some more ideas that kind of were theorized based off of his ideas. Let's talk about Zelda.
That's where I was going next. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what next one he talked about too. I think he said more remakes, like remake a Link, the second Link, whatever.
Link to the Past.
Link to the Past.
God,
yeah, of course. I mean, that's a given. I mean, that's not necessarily like a groundbreaking idea for the Switch 2.
No,
but
that's
of course,
that could easily happen.
More full on remakes would be welcomed. But here's what I'm saying. Like I alluded to with Donkey Kong, voice acting. Let's finally get that normalized in Nintendo games. Is full voice acting. Give it to us.
Zelda needs it. Zelda needs it bad at this point. Like,
voice acting, all of it, man.
And it's okay. Link doesn't have to talk still. That's totally cool. Not going to be worried about that. But the rest of it, come on. Like it's got to happen at this point.
Yeah, especially there's going to be a freaking Zelda movie coming out. We're gonna see what their thoughts are on Link talking anyway then. So it doesn't mean that even if he talks in the movies, it's not like he needs to talk in the games anyway. The point is we're going to see Link's mannerisms, how he kind of reacts when the camera's pointed to him. If he's not talking, let's say, you're going to see what Link should look like instead of just he standing still like a statue making sounds. You know, like when you're in dialogue scenes, he just stands there like a statue with his hands on his hips, making little grunts. In the movie's going to show us how he can actually emote.
Yes, he's going to.
So let's bring that. Bring that into the games with voice acting for the other characters. Give Link those mannerisms, but just for God's sakes, get the voice acting, please. Like switch to. Let's normalize that, please.
Yeah. Well, when we went into this earlier too, kind of talking about the whole thing about Nintendo protecting their IP so much because it's in these movies and they're doing all this stuff. Like, if you're doing that for that reason, like, start bringing a little, you know what I mean? Like, start meshing some of that together. So it's like when these kids go to the movies and see this stuff on the screen, it's going to match up better with what they're playing in the game. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And I have a theory that's why they did what they did with Donkey Kong, because that's what the new Donkey Kong kind of looks like in the games. And they kind of put that art style into the movie, because why would they? Otherwise, why would they change it?
Well, they changed the character model for him in the movie. That was another thing that Endo said in his video was go full in. Just use the one from the movie as the new one in the game.
Yeah,
I don't hate that either. I do love A Link to the Past as the next 2D Zelda remake.
Yeah.
I'd die. I would die over that. I'd be so excited for that.
Let's get to
what I thought would be really cool to do though?
What's that?
I guess they kind of sort of did a little bit of a more of a 2.5D style for Link's Awakening. I would love to see them just take the map of A Link to the Past and build it as a 3D game. Same story, same map, but instead of top down, it's got its own art style and it's a full 3D world. That would be incredible to experience the same exact game, but instead of being a top down, map matches, everything matches, but you're in it. It's 3D. You're on the island. I think that'd be very cool.
That'd be something that we could do in the Switch too with those Zelda ports or with those Zelda remakes, like we said. Like that could be a direction they go.
Something like that. I think would be really cool to see.
Take them from being top-down 2Ds to full 3Ds.
Yeah.
The Switch 2's gonna have the power.
Just try it. Just take that and do it. Just make A Link to the Past a new 3D Zelda game. It's the same story. Everything happens the same. You're just experiencing it completely differently.
All right, I got two more for you. Two more ideas, and then we're gonna end this episode.
Okay.
Second to last one here. And this is kind of based off of, I was watching his video in 2x speed before we went on here, so it's kind of loosely based off of his ideas, but kind of my own spin. Let's modernize the currently out-of-date IPs or non-existent ones. And for this...
He said legs.
Did I?
He said, no, he's talking about a new IP, and he said, make, not arms, just make legs. This guy's funny. You guys should definitely check him out. He's really funny.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so what I mean by modernize the current out-of-date IPs, let's just say Metroid, for example. I mean, we're going to see what they do with Metroid Prime 4 here pretty soon, I think, actually. Maybe like even next month.
Metroid Prime 4 is happening.
Besides, of course, the voice acting thing is throughout all the games. So, of course, we need voice acting in Metroid as well, I think. Bring it in. but especially in using the Metroid example, add like with voice acting, add drama, add more. There's already ambiance in the game, so add that drama in the game. Like just make really cinematic cutscenes with the voice acting, and just make it like a little cinematic experience. Like Metroid especially, I think is a game that could be really benefited from that kind of treatment. And I'm not saying if there's Metroid purists out there, which I'm sure there are, I don't mean to like offend you and say we need to change your game because it sucks. That's not at all what I mean. I'm saying for this next generation, this is the next generation console for Nintendo, whenever we get it. It's going to be next generation. Let's make the games match that. Let's make the games match this next generation title. Let's modernize these games. Let's make them compete out there with the Halos, which by the way, Halo sucks right now. Let's make it compete with the Call of Duties.
Yeah, but I mean, when you look at
Call of Duty first player experience sucks.
When you look at the level of, you're right, the dialogue, the acting, like it's night and day when you see some of these other games. Like go play Horizon Zero Dawn or Horizon Forbidden West. Go play The Last of Us. Go like any of those games.
Look at what Sony's doing with video games.
Yeah, I mean that's Metroid is the franchise that could do that and do it really, really well.
Nintendo could take Metroid as like from like the 4th or 5th most popular franchise in Nintendo's bag to like skyrocket to number 1 very quickly and again, from an outside audience.
Think about how that progresses too, because then now you've presented Metroid in this way in a video game, and then what's the next step with everything you're doing right now anyway? Then you get to go make your Metroid movie, and you have a basis off of which you can do so because you've given a little bit more to the game, which they could do it now without doing that. They could do it now without doing that, or they could put the game out. And I mean, who knows?
Or that could be Nintendo's first TV series.
I mean, maybe Metroid Prime 4 is that. Maybe we are already getting that. We don't even know it.
Who knows? Last one, shout out to Communication Error Podcast because this is their idea. I'm stealing it because it fits in with this conversation. Just their episode that they put out today, actually. They were talking about Nintendo needs to get up with the times as well with games, and like they need to make a battle royale game to compete with the Fortnites and League of Legends and all these other series right now that are out there. There's games as a service is the way
everybody wants to do one.
Games as the service is what they're doing these days. So Nintendo needs to get on that trend and make something that is games as a service to build their brand, to get into little kids' hands or even get the little kids' eyeballs who are watching this stuff being streamed by streamers or YouTube video content. There's just less eyes on Nintendo gaming right now. And kids are watching video games.
They're ever going to do that.
Kids are watching video games, and Nintendo games are not really the thing right now, especially toward the end of the cycle of the Switch. That would really help them out with getting it with kids' eyeballs.
I don't think you're ever going to see that.
I disagree. I disagree, especially when you listen to the way they describe it. I'm like, you guys have a point. You know,
I'll have to listen to it. I haven't listened to it, but I just. Nintendo's never been that company. They're not the microtransaction company. They never have.
We're not talking microtransactions. We're talking games with as a service, which that doesn't necessarily mean microtransactions. It could just mean games that are continually updated forever and ever, as long as they last.
They could have had that
free content updates.
They could do it. Like, it doesn't have to be a shooter. Mario it doesn't have Golf. To be. They could have done it. They could have done it, and they've messed it up. I mean, maybe they'll do it the next one. Animal Crossing New Horizons could have been that.
Here, Drip. You know what could be it, and this is based off of their opinions again, their ideas. Mario Kart. The next Mario Kart game.
That could be
so easily could be the first game as a service. One of those
already.
Well, yeah, the phone game. Yeah.
Mario Kart Tour, yeah.
But this could actually be good and look amazing. It could be 4K 60 on a console. Have you
played Mario Kart Tour?
Yeah, I don't like phone games. I've never liked phone games. They all suck to me. It looks
pretty damn good. It looks pretty incredible, actually.
But I think you're under you because of what you just said a second ago. You never think it's going to happen. You're completely not seeing the vision that we can see. The vision of Mario Kart as a game with a service.
I can.
Nintendo is salivating at the idea. I just don't think
they're going to do it.
I
don't think they're going to do that.
You'd be a fool if you think they're not at least trying to. They may not actually succeed. And may never put it out.
They could, like I said, they could have still be supporting. Mario Kart's a good one. That would be one that would work for sure. But they could still be supporting Animal Crossing New Horizons, and people would be eating that up. They just stopped. There was just a point they were like, I mean, it's not like people weren't playing the game. You know what I mean?
That's another really good one, Animal Crossing.
That's it, done. But they could easily do that.
They were doing that for a little while. Do
it again. They have a mobile game where they do that right now. That's where they're putting these games as a service thing. They're doing them on mobile.
Yeah, but those suck.
You, they suck.
Objectively
Lots of people play them though.
They don't play them because they're good. They play them because people are addicted to the games as a service. That is a fact.
Okay, but
these games are not good. Look at all the failed ones that have failed. What's that most recent one? That comic book one? Marvel or Batman or DC? DC, that one that failed recently?
I know what you're talking about.
There's one, the DC games as a service, the Suicide Squad.
Oh, yeah. God. Yeah.
It
Kill
sucked.
The Justice League.
It sucked. You know what else sucks?
Because it wasn't supposed to be that.
Pokemon Unite sucks, but people play it. You know what else sucks?
That's the thing. You keep saying all this stuff sucks.
It is so old, man. Fortnite
You keep saying all this stuff sucks because
to me.
you don't like it.
Can you listen?
But there's plenty. I'm listening. You keep saying everything sucks.
This is my opinion. But of course, it sucks to me.
These games are still going and making money. People are playing them.
You're not going to listen? You're just going to talk?
Clearly, they don't suck that bad.
Okay. I'm not saying that people don't like them. People love them. But it's an addiction. They're addicted to these games. They cannot wait to get their next Fortnite skin. It's such a tired game mode, dude. It is so tired. Shooting games like that.
I like it. I enjoy it a lot.
Again, Drip, listen to me. I'm not saying that they're not fun. I'm not even saying they're not fun. Like, they're fun, but it's a tired, old idea that just keeps getting recycled. And games like Suicide Squad is a good example of how anybody tries another one that's like it, fails because it's tired and old. It sucks.
Oh yeah, well, because everybody's trying to do everybody wants to do the microtransactions. You can't. No one's gonna do Call of Duty, Fortnite, whatever, Overwatch. Like, nobody's doing that again. Nobody's gonna do that. I don't care who it is. There's that new thing coming out, that Marvel Rivals. That actually looks decent. It's like an Overwatch clone basically, but it looks decent, and it's Marvel characters. I'm interested. I'm kind of interested to see what that's about because I like Marvel, and that could be fun. I don't think that's going to do anything like what these other games I just named do because they're the ones that did it. Everybody's been trying to be the Fortnite or the Call of Duty or the this or the that with the games as a service, microtransaction bullshit. That is where I will say you're right in what you're saying about Mario Kart. Or like we just brought up Animal Crossing, that would be, at least on a console, a different idea as far as a games as a service type of thing. That would be a different type of thing that we haven't really seen yet. I mean, they're out there, I guess. I mean, what's the one? What's the Disney one? The Animal Crossing Disney kind of thing. Dreamlight Valley?
Dreamlight Valley. Yes.
So, I mean, look.
You can't,
it has been done. It's being done.
These games as a service things, they're old and tired, and people they're all failing. The ones that are coming out now are failing. A lot of them are because they're just trying to recycle what's already out there with their own spin. And
yeah, well, there's one other problem too.
But let me hold on, Drew. But Mario Kart, for example, could be a fresh take because I mean, it's the kart game. We already know there's another Mario Kart game coming. That's the given. There will be another one. But Nintendo could take the one everyone's expecting, another Mario Kart game, and still give that Mario Kart experience, but with the service as a thought. Instead of because Mario Kart not 8, let's not pretend, Drew, that game was a service game. I mean, think about it.
Everything.
Think about it. That it wasn't branded that way, but it lasted for 10 years.
They could do that again.
They had a DLC onto DLC onto DLC onto DLC after a port. That was a live service game. That really was. What they could do instead of waiting months or years for a big pack of DLC, they could just spread it out over 10 years and bada bing, bada boom, Mario Kart 10, live service. You get little drops here and there, new characters, new carts, all the same stuff they normally put out, but as a live service game. And that would be perfect. It would be perfect for Mario Kart.
It would.
Optional
for the game.
They could add optional microtransactions. That's possible. But I don't think
Nintendo's going to.
I said they're ever going to go there. Could.
Yeah, I know.
But I don't think they would either. But maybe they will. Who knows?
I mean, things
but they
could
don't
change.
have to.
But
The point is they don't have to.
There's one other thing. There's one other wrinkle in this entire thing that I want you to think about too. And you're right, but not only the fact that all these games are trying to be whatever. They're trying to be the next Fortnite. They're trying to be the next Call of Duty. All the ones we've mentioned. They're trying to be the next whatever. There's another problem with all these games as a service that are just keep popping up everywhere. And it's time. Like, how much fucking time in a day do you have to put into one of these types of games? And if you have time, to put into one of these games, do you have time to put into two? Probably not. You definitely don't have time to put into 3, 4, 5. Like, people only have so much time to give when it comes to their games. When you are completely flooded with these games, it's like, even this, I like Fortnite. I play Fortnite. Lego Fortnite. I really wanted to get in it, but guess what? I just don't have that kind of time. I just don't.
Same thing. Excuse me. Same thing.
I don't. So it's, I worry about them jumping into the games as a service stuff for that reason. If it's a Mario Kart thing like that, I think if it's marketed the way that you are saying, instead of being like, oh, live service, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's just like, here's the Mario Kart game, and then here are things we add in. And like, they don't have to say it. They just do sell the game, and they just change things and add things and do events and this and that. Like, really make it a fun thing.
I have it all thought out in my head already. Like, the way that they could do it is like, again, we don't 50-50 whether microtransactions are in the game, but forget about that for a second. Another way they can make extra money off of this, is if you're a member of Nintendo Switch Online, which is a subscription service. They're getting money constantly flow for the next 10 years. If you're a member for 10 years, that's how you get the drops. If you want the drops, if there's a battle pass, you get the battle pass if you're an online member. Or if you're not an online member, the battle pass costs this much money, and Nintendo will do that.
They're already doing that. With that's how they did it with the DLC waves for Mario Kart. I mean, I don't hate that idea. If that's the way they're going to do it, I mean, that entices people to get the online service, which is what they want anyway. And
actually, I think that would improve. Hear me out. This is actually crazy for me to say. I think Mario Kart live service game would improve Mario Kart, and here's why. The reason Mario Kart right now is fun is you play a match with your friends or with random people out on the internet. You win or lose, and you have a point system. Like, and when Mario Kart, you get like a certain point system, and you get ranked based off your point system. What is it like? It's like 1,600 points, or you can be as low as like 0 points, or as high, whatever. You know what I'm talking about? When you win or lose a race, you gain or lose points. This is the way they could do it. You win or lose races, and you contribute to a battle pass instead of a point system. You just contribute to a battle pass.
Yeah, well, so and a lot of it is the coins and stuff you get unlock the carts and stuff as you go, but eventually they're gone. Like, you've got them all. Like, so
it's everything that already exists with Mario Kart. Nothing added, just presented to you and served to you differently. Just if you unlock your battle pass by racing other people online, it gives purpose to the online races. Because other than having fun, I don't just boot up Mario Kart for any other reason. Like, because you play the game, you have some fun, and then you're done. For me, I play about an hour and then I'm done. If that these days, that. But for this, it would give it purpose. Like Fortnite gives playing Fortnite purpose with the battle passes. It would give Mario Kart purpose to then it would give you an encouragement to play the game to unlock the cart you're trying to unlock. You really want to get that Donkey Kong cart, but you got to keep playing to get more points to win. I mean, it just makes too much sense in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, they could do it. They could do it and probably get away with it. I don't want to see them try to do some random ass like shooter or something dumb like that.
No. I mean, they would take their existing. Nintendo has the IPs, man. They'll just take Splatoon. They want a shooter. They'll just make Splatoon. They're going to Nintendoify the market of live service.
I mean, I guess they kind of do it with that anyway. I don't know.
They do kind of do it. They do kind of do it with Splatoon.
Either way, Back to kind of what we were talking about here. I just want to shout him out one more time. Endo on YouTube. That's where we kind of got the idea to talk about these next games coming up. I'm going to drop his the link to his video in the chat. So you guys need to go subscribe to him and then leave a comment on his video and tell him we sent you over.
For sure. And guys, with that, we're going to end the episode here. We're going to hang out for the after show for a few minutes. For those of you in the stream, those of you on the listening side of things or watching the YouTube video, we're going to see you guys. Well, thanks for listening, first and foremost. Thanks for putting up with Drip and I arguing at the end there. It's all good. And we'll see you guys in the after show. Or we'll see you guys next week.
Later.